services. Enjoy personal accident insurance, and finally enjoy travel insurance all at a monthly flat rate. Visit the nearest ABSA branch to sign up now for the ABSA Assure account. Terms and conditions apply. That's Africanacity. That's ABSA, official African banking partner of the Premier League. Visit absa.com.gh/premier-league for further details. Now, with prices of everything going up, guess what? Sethi Realty is offering discount of up to 45% on their dwelling homes. Prices are starting from as low as 350,000 Ghana cedis, not USD. Not the dollar that we are chasing right now, is in Ghana cedis. Yes, you heard right. 350,000 Ghana cedis for a price of a home located in Temak Community 26 behind the Palace Shopping Mall. So if you're looking for an investment opportunity with huge returns, then worry no more. Contact Sethi Realty like right now. Give them a call on 055 143 5555 or 055 143 8888. You can also visit their website nyamidriagh.com. Remember, terms and conditions apply as prices are subject to change. Hurry, because only limited units are available. Sethi Realty, the future of living. Now, I want to give you an opportunity to enjoy a golden trip to South Africa. How about that? What better way to make the most of your Easter break than with a vacation to the southern tip of Africa? South Africa invites you to their sunny shores to rediscover yourself while exploring their breathtakingly rich landscapes. Visit South Africa means you get to experience their magnificent climate, diverse range of foods, world-class beaches, as well as their many tourist sites. Come journey with us for an unforgettable golden experience. And if you are going on this trip, just a quick one on the COVID regulations. So travelers must provide a negative PCR COVID-19 test that is no older than 72 hours before entering South Africa. And travelers arriving by flight are advised to organize transport prior, preferably hotel or accommodation shuttles or even Ubers. And most accommodation establishments have free Wi-Fi for their guests. However, it is advisable to find accommodation with Wi-Fi in order to stay connected. Visit southafrica.net to learn more and definitely enjoy a golden trip to South Africa. Let me tell you about Agritech West Africa. It's an exhibition endorsed by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture of Ghana with support from Ghana National Chamber of Agribusiness, FAGE, Farmer Organization Networks, West African Agriculture Chamber, Food and Beverage Association of Ghana, CropLife, and Agric Today. Sponsored by UPL, Cali, Ghana. It will be happening from the 23rd to the 25th of March 2022 at the Accra International Conference Center. The event covers the entire value chain of agriculture. We're talking food, processing, and packaging with exhibitors from India, Egypt, South Africa, Ghana, and Europe. Looking forward to meeting with Ghanaian partners in the agribusiness, farming and food processing and distribution business. So block your calendar to meet your partners in Agritech West Africa. All right, back home, there was a huge announcement yesterday by the Bank of Ghana governor. We were told to expect another one from the finance minister, but what does this very first one mean to you and I, private businesses in particular? That's all coming up after this.
Everyone is proud of the doctor I've become. I'm grateful to a lot of people, but especially for basketball and the grit I built as I learned the sport. The rejections taught me to keep fighting. The long hours taught me discipline. Knockdowns taught me to bounce back. And those unexpected victories taught me never to give up.
Nourish and energize your kids with Milo. Help them succeed in sports. Because the grits they learn in sports, they keep for life. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo. This advert is FDA approved.
Provident Insurance.
Provident Insurance welcomes you to a new year. Remember to insure your new car or renew your existing motor insurance from the 1st of January to the 31st of March. You can win free gifts such as fuel coupons and several other branded Provident souvenirs. Rush for insurance cover now. Terms and conditions apply.
With Provident, man, you were covered.
These visitors only show up at dinner.
Bro,
Come in, oh. Did you manage to fix the car?
Yes, so it's running smoothly, boss.
Fine. You are very, very welcome. Have a seat.
Efo, bless you.
Osofu, you are 2 hours early. Please make yourself comfortable. Let me go and dish the neighbor. Oh, come in, oh. I was just about eating dinner.
Efo.
Good to see you. Sit down. Excuse me for 1 minute, okay?
Efo has a plan.
Hey, Fiafi, Ewi. My brothers, come outside and see something.
Wait there.
He lures them outside and locks them out.
Finally, I can eat my food in peace. Stay outside there.
Find out why people are going a whole 9 yards just to eat Lele rice. Lele, tasty food, happy family. This advert is FDA approved.
Coffee in your cup and Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
That's right. It's the Super Morning Show here on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, how will the whole announcement by the Bank of Ghana governor, the review of the policy rates, which has gone up, how will that lead to a reduction in inflation in the short term? How will that impact on the loan that you're already servicing or the loan that you intend taking? We're talking about matters that affect us. Joining us for that conversation is Mr. Johnny Wah. He's the president of the Ghana Association of Bankers. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Very well. So we'll come back and then, start the conversation with you. But first, I want us to listen to these.
Issues that we also discussed at this weekend retreat in the medium term is also to look at some of the retention agreements that we have with the oil with the oil drilling companies, etc. These are really medium to longer term issues which should help improve the foreign exchange earning capacity of the economy as a whole. So yes, we are quite confident that these measures would help to stabilize the cedi. If you listen to what I said that we think that the exchange rate has overshot its long-run level. And when that happens, it can only appreciate. So those that are speculating on the cedi, I think that they should be aware that the central bank thinks that the cedi has overshot its medium-term levels, and therefore we think that we can only see some appreciation in the next few quarters. So I'm not sure that you're going to win by speculating against the cedi. And we expect that the policy rate upward adjustment should be transmitted. It's part of the mechanism to get the aggregate demand, moving in the direction in which we want it to move. So that transmission is quite important. Unfortunately, these are some of the short-term trade-offs between inflation and growth, and we have to sacrifice a little bit of the growth part of it and focus on inflation, because we cannot afford to have inflation getting into double digits and way outside our target bands.
You heard that Dr. Ernest Addison, the governor of the Bank of Ghana. Effectively, there's been an upward review of the policy rates because of the rise in inflation, as well as the increase in prices of goods and services, and of course petroleum products as well. We want to see how this would impact on the loan that you're already servicing. Fortunately, we have Mr. Johnny Wah, who's the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Association of Bankers, joining us. So I just want us to start this conversation of when the banks would start reviewing their interest rates.
Yeah, thank you very much. As community of banks, our reaction to the announcement by the regulator is a bit mixed. On one hand, we believe that the inflationary pressures needed some attention, and to that extent, the thing to up the policy rate, we believe, is in the right direction. The transmission normally takes a while, but we believe that over the course of the next couple of weeks to a month or so, we should begin seeing the transmission into the market rates, which should then begin stemming the tide of inflation. The other area that we have some concern is the reversal of some of the measures that were introduced at the height of the COVID pandemic. You agree with me that the pandemic is not behind us, as we all would have loved to see. Businesses are still ravaging from the impact of the pandemic. The sectors that were significantly impacted have not really come back onto the normal track of business. And to that extent, as banks, we thought the capital conservation buffer was still relevant. The reduction should have been kept. We also thought that the cash reserve ratio, which has now increased even beyond where it was during before the introduction of the measures, is now going to 12%. We believe that given the circumstances that we find ourselves in as a country, those measures were still or are still very relevant and would have really helped to near liquidity into the productive sectors, not for speculation. I am not sure people are borrowing money from the banks to speculate on the currency. There may be some excess liquidity hovering around for speculation, which I believe the hike in the policy rate will address. But we still need lending to propel the economy forward. And to the extent that that is being curtailed and one's ability to have the needed liquidity to lend is being clawed back, we do not think that it may necessarily lead to the intended consequence.
But on the first issue, banks are not immediately responding in terms of reviewing their interest rates.
It depends on the contract that you sign with your bank. Bank of Ghana's measures, if you read the report, takes effect from April 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a fixed rate contract with your bank, of course, even if the rate increases to 40%, you have a contract with your bank that your lending rate is fixed for a period. Right. And to that extent, your asset will not be repriced. But if you have a variable rate, which is benchmarked to the Ghana reference rate, which is also driven from the policy rate, the interbank rate, and the 91-day benchmark, then you have potential for your lending rate going up. But as we normally experience when the policy rate comes down, a 1% or a 2% downward review of the policy rate would not necessarily result in a 2% review downward of your lending rate. In the same vein, if the policy rate has increased by 250 basis points, it does not necessarily mean that your lending rate will increase by 250 basis points. But of course, the essence of the hike in the policy rate is to make CD assets or domestic currency assets attractive, so that people will stop speculating, and those exiting the country as a result of depressed yields on the local assets will also find it attractive. And to that extent, there should be some transmission into new lending rates, and that should ultimately result in an increased lending rate.
What kind of percentage are we possibly looking at?
It's difficult to tell. The weighting for the policy rate in the basket of the variables that determines the reference rate is not such that it will directly, significantly increase your lending rate. But we all agree that 250 basis points increase is significant. And to that extent, we should be able to see some upward adjustment in lending rate, particularly the benchmark rate, those that are benchmarked to the Ghana reference.
Just a bit about your mixed reaction on, the second leg. Ms. Ewa, some had already argued even before the announcement yesterday that most banks were not lending, but rather buying treasury bills. So why the worry about lending being affected?
But you see, there's also the talk in town that access in lending to loans is a bit restricted. And what we need, in my view, are policies that will drive access, policies that will lead banks to be lending, a little bit more aggressively than we are doing now. Of course, if the climate is not very stable, as banks, we also find it difficult to lend because you need certainty to be able to program your liquidity. Business needs a stable environment to be able to also program their liquidity demands. Loan is a two-way street. It takes two to tango when it comes to lending. A bank cannot just say we are giving loans and we put bail on it. There must be demand for the loans, and then the bank will provide the supply. So if the demand side is a bit frustrated because of the economic circumstance, perhaps businesses are not doing as well as they ought to be doing, for which reason people are careful approaching banks for loans, then you have a situation where there will be modest growth in the loan. But there is still some level of lending going on in the environment. Yeah.
Right. Well, Mr. Johnny, we'll leave it here. I guess in the coming days and weeks, we'll see how the banks react properly to this, and we'll probably come to you for some more. He's the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Association of Bankers, John Iwa, helping us there with the perspective of bankers. George Uafe Raymond Aqua with me in the studio. George, you were at yesterday's meeting, the press conference where the announcement happened. A day after the announcement, maybe hours after the announcement, what's been the market's reaction?
I think that just like what John Ewa explained, it might be early days yet, but also what are you using this tool to try and correct as well? Is the signaling effect as well, that you think that there's a challenge and therefore you are giving the market signal that this is where you want to go. You are trying to compensate those who have invested in your market, who thought that because of the high inflation rate, the real returns on their investment were being lost or being wiped away, especially when you have a system or a country where most of your bonds are taken up by offshore investors. How do you try and compensate those investors or give them some assurance that when they, with respect to those investments that they've placed in the economy or the bonds, their returns are not being wiped away by the city's depreciation and also the high rate of inflation? For also those who are in the market that have placed their monies in city assets as well, what are you telling them that going forward, the Bank of Ghana needs to send a signal out there that they are taking measures to ensure that with respect to the returns on these investment instruments are not being wiped away? And that is what something of this sort is supposed to do. There are concerns that, and again, I'm being very careful with my choice of words, that there's kind of excess liquidity in the system. What is causing the inflation? There are some who are arguing that it is a supply issue where there's too much, maybe people are not supplying the required goods on the market. And that is why it appears that the rates, the more money is chasing the few goods. But it is not a demand problem where you want to use this policy to correct. The governor thinks otherwise. He thinks that with respect to the transport hikes and the other issues as well that are happening, you want to use this policy rate to try and correct that because of the perception that there's too much liquidity in the system. And again, we may argue about a local or a homegrown solution. All the markets outside, the developed economies, this has been the approach. As to whether a Ghana situation will work for us, time will just tell. The Bank of Ghana has 2 months to always review these things. Quote, it's only a fool that doesn't change his mind. If these measures are not working, what other things can you do to deal with that situation? And for me, that is the most exciting bit as well. Yes, very soon, we are watching, we are engaging some of these investors, and they appear to be comfortable with what has happened. Are we still going to see those offshore investors who were actually withdrawing their bonds when their time was due? Or they'll say that, okay, we will stay. Don't forget, you are also competing with investors who wanted to move to the US market because they have hiked their rates. This will then compensate them, so they will hold their bonds and not rush out, because these investors have invested a lot in this economy. And concerns about our fiscal situation was not good enough. Maybe the monetary action could compensate them.
Raymond, you've been, hammering on the fact that this can only be a short-term move.
Yes, and I agree. I believe in order to give a lot of strength to your currency, what you do is to fix the fundamentals of your economy. If your economy is import dependent, there is no way that you continuously have a very strong currency, because you rarely would have to be chasing more dollars consistently to import goods into your system. And we know this. We have been for decades talking about import substitution, industrialization. So that's a big agenda which we hardly get to realize, but we'll go back to it. And I'm sure in the coming days you hear government telling us more things they will do in that direction to fix this permanently. Now, if you ask me that question again, that question about whether or not these are good measures now, or but the answer is, what did we intend to deal with? Stem the tide of depreciation.
Yes.
Then clearly we are on that particular track, because I'm just wondering what options were on the table again beyond these ones, beyond having to the measures on that we have now. Basically, we are just telling ourselves that banks' ability to have needed liquidity to lend is being curtailed or is being limited one way or the other. As to whether that would have other consequences on it's also something that maybe it might not be in the interim if this is not sustained for a very long time or for a continuous period, it might not have the impact that we're talking about. So we are looking at this from just making sure that depreciation is worked around in a nice way, but the other consequences, do we have plans to deal with it? Or it's not something that we anticipate will have a major impact on the economy. Let's not forget, most of us were complaining about how the city is depreciating and how we needed to work around that. So maybe these are just the immediate terms that you need to work at it to improve the situation. The only difficulty I have is that virtually every time, it's almost like the cycle we go through. So we'll wait till, is it June, July, August, then there's also syndicated loan along the line.
But remember, you realize that it looks like we're not being able to go to the Eurobond market. It's a good thing. There is
it's a good thing.
In the sense that good thing in the sense that now there's that thing is done on us that listen,
we can't rely on that
go
structure.
On this approach.
That's
this
true.
Thing. Listen, there is a moral argument for those who are against e-levy, and I will not contest that. But going forward, we need to find some innovative ways to raise revenue internally. That might not be new taxes. It could be how are we more efficient in existing levies and taxes.
That's true. Yeah.
You cannot go ahead always going outside to borrow. What are the options? Even the IMF program that we are talking about, there's some form of lending here.
That's true.
So I'm saying that because we couldn't go to the bond market, now there's that pressure on us. Listen, there need to be alternatives. And that alternatives might be how do we raise more revenue internally? Not necessarily new taxes, but how are we efficient in the collections and also matching our revenue with expenditure. I read the Auditor General's report every time. As when I go through some of them, and that's where I draw my worry from. That this is not about I see Raymond has spent this, it's not true, and all the rest. The Auditor General's report is documented.
So I guess this is where we'll be looking forward to what the finance minister would finally, address. But listen, we've been worried about the cedi's depreciation, the impact that has on petroleum. And I'm wondering, so this latest move by the Bank of Ghana, would that also resolve the high cost of petroleum products?
But if it gets to the point of reducing, if cedi appreciates, if the cedi appreciates, the exchange rate is a very important factor because we go and buy the crude with
finished
dollars,
petroleum
right?
products.
Yes,
we finished petroleum products.
We buy with dollars, right? So we bring it into the country. If we get that happening, and if also more importantly, Dangote finishes his own refinery
that's a long term
in Nigeria, and we get it next. We are scoring the ball. We are fresh on that level.
Not talking about
just one quick thing as well, which the governor mentioned yesterday. That another thing that is also driving the depreciation is the fear that I'm involved in a dollar business, maybe bringing in goods, importing finished petroleum products. If I'm worried that in the next 3 months I can't get access to dollars to finance the importation of finished petroleum products, that also pricing into the excessive demand now. So whatever that I can do to grab more dollars now when I don't need it, I'll do that, and that will feed it into the depreciation and even the pricing as well. So now that there is some kind of surety to these BDCs that when you need the dollars you're going to meet all your dollar needs. That might also deal with the excessive demand pressures on dollars that are not needed right now. And how do we also ensure that the dollars that are out there go to those who are in the dollar business? I think last year or so, when I had to get the current data where you had FX that are in bank accounts wrapping up to like $2.4 billion or something. Are these accounts being held by individuals who've gone out there, taking Ghana cedis, buy dollars and hold them in their account, trying to cash in on the cedis depreciation?
Those conversations, finally, with the big mining firms, the conversation with the oil firms, the conversation with the big companies like MTN and Co. Are they still ongoing?
Yeah, they are still ongoing. I know for a fact that for some of the multinationals, they've asked them to stagger their repatriation of profit and dividend payment.
Which sometimes
they have complained about it as well. So the whole idea is that if that is staggered, where a multinational goes out, try to send about $50 million and all the rest, our foreign exchange market is not that big. One withdrawal or one this and shakes the whole market.
So with the talk of this whole dollar, the $2 billion injection, do we have timelines in terms of when we're doing this?
I don't know about the timelines. Maybe one caution here is also to make sure that these advances of support goes to productive sectors and those that need the dollars to do the dollar business. The practice where people go out and buy dollars and hold them in their accounts and they are not using it for anything.
Yeah.
But some will also say that the best antidote to dollarization is to stabilizing your local currency. If the Ghana cedi is strong today, there wouldn't be any motivation for someone to go out there, grab as much as dollars they do. I remember there was a time ago, Raymond, that even there were some supermarkets in Ghana that had to reduce their prices when the cedi started appreciating strongly. Because you are an import economy. So if you make your currency strong, if you do all those things, naturally, gradually, you find those even schools that were pricing in dollars, they will switch to cedis.
On that note, check the exchange rate for me, George, because I want us to wrap up on that.
It depends on where you want to look at. If you want to look at where
the one that we can access, not the one that the banks
the average quotes that the banks are giving to their retail clients, you still within the 7 Ghana cedis crossing, getting closer to the 8 Ghana cedis, where 7 Ghana cedis 70 pesos, and these are retail quotes that the banks will give to you. If you go to the forex market, some are given above 8 Ghana cedis.
This was last year where even people were looking at the pound and were very worried about the pound. But if you look at the dollar getting to 7 now, is a bit frightening still.
Yes. So it depends on where you want to look at in terms of the transactions that you're undertaking.
Just one reality check. Does the dollar ever come down?
It does, but it might not be massive. So we don't expect. To be fair, I'm not sure with all of these measures we're expecting the dollar to come to, let's say 5 or 4.
No.
Yeah, we don't expect that.
All right.
So there's also a question that's deep within my heart. I was expecting. Those days we were bold in saying that stop this dollarization of the economy and pricing on quoting everything in dollars.
But the laws are there. I think that it's just about
the laws are still
there. These
are
not new things.
Okay, that's known.
Yes.
So let's end it here.
It's nothing new.
There's not been announced. You see virtually everybody pricing in dollars.
We have the laws.
It's done.
But nobody
you saw that the real estate companies at the point in time when they comes to their billboards, they were now quoting in Ghana cedis.
I get it, but it's now they've changed it though. It's all in dollars.
Please, the hotels are also still charging
but
in
they
dollars.
have their listen based on licensing requirement from the Ghana Tourism Company. Sorry if I got the name right. And also so they are allowed based on licensing requirement from the Bank of Ghana because of their engagement directly with foreigners.
Okay.
So it's not a flood list, every hotel should be doing that actually.
They quoted to us Ghanaians as well.
Oh,
by the way.
okay.
George
Mavi goes there a lot, you know.
Yeah, she visits
for her lunch and then her buffet as well. You know I'm not lying.
Speaking from experience.
Oh, okay.
Listen, still ahead, we have the Graphic Business Big Bang Breakfast meeting coming up, and this quarter is on the integration of e-service into our economy. Implications for economic growth and quality of life. We will cross over to the Labadi Beach Hotel soon, but there's still a lot more to come here on your Super Morning Show.
Ojam, why you make quiet like that?
Oh, Charlie, I'll go do some POP, give somebody where the cornice is not fine, cry.
I always they tell you, see, for decorative roses and cornices, the solution be interface. Them have different imported cornices and roses in different designs and shapes. Installing them be so easy, and it go give your customer the finishing he wants.
Ojam, take me go interface right now before I lose this customer.
Interface Limited is the leading supplier and installer of finishing input materials for the building and construction industry in Ghana. Call us on 0274-999999 or visit our website at
www.interfacelimited.net. Facebook Interface Limited GH. Instagram interface.limited.
Do you need money to start a business? Do you need money to expand your business? Are you a government or private sector worker in need of money to sort out emergencies? Do you need working capital loan? Or you are in need of an emergency loan? Well, Quick Credits will loan you money so you can repay in flexible terms. It's collateral-free loan with no susu, no savings, no account opening nor deposit wahala. You just need to be a Ghanaian with your Ghana card. Quick Credit covers all forms of loans, and so you have no excuse not to work this 2022 and beyond. Call Quick Credit on 030-2200-390 or 059-692-0833. Take note that we do not give loans via the internet. Beware of scammers. We are regulated and licensed by Bank of Ghana. Terms and conditions apply. Quick Credit, lending made simple.
Wow, I just paid my taxes right now. Since they started this pay from anywhere, it has become easier, cry.
Easy, cry. Now nobody has an excuse. So long Jenny no ye jai. Tax, why?
Effie, don't tell me you have not been paying taxes, so.
No, I'm tired of paying.
Don't be. It's the taxes we pay that government will use to improve the market and to build the nation. Oh.
I don't know. It just takes your whole day. Hey, you mean you have been going to the GRA office?
Effie, unye current cry. Come and join us. So not paying taxes no.
Pay your taxes online, at the bank, or from your phone. Together, we can build a great nation. GRA.
What would you do if you have the choice to do anything in life? Build your dream house, take very good care of your family, and plan for a comfortable retirement. Plan a befitting funeral for your loved ones when they depart. How would you live if you knew there was a friend waiting to support you on all of your life's choices?
You have such a friend in Glyco Life Insurance. Glyco Life has all the plans to meet your life's needs. Your child's education, your life savings, your mortgage, funerals, redundancy, and your retirement, and takes the burden off your shoulders. So go ahead and live life to the fullest today with Glyco Life Insurance plans. And remember that all our policies are hedged against inflation. Talk to Glyco Life on 0302 218 500 or 246 142. Also visit our website at www.glycolife.com or any of our branches nationwide for more information.
Glyco Life, we cushion you for life.
Glyco, we cushion you for life.
Coffee in your cup and Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
On your Super Morning Show, 44 minutes after 8, here on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, the UPSA Law School, in collaboration with the ACCA, is pleased to invite you to the Africa Trade Roundtable 4 under the theme, the After the Environment and Sustainable Value Chains. The roundtable conversation will discuss the value chain complexities expected to dominate the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area in light of the region, climate and environmental concerns. Speakers at the Africa Trade Roundtable. 4 include Mr. Jamil Ampoma, Director of Africa ACCA, and Dr. Yao Graham, Coordinator, Third World Network Africa. The event comes off on Thursday, 24th of March 2022 at 9 a.m. at the Mervyn Peck Ambassador Hotel, and is strictly by invitation. To follow the discussion virtually, please visit the UPSA Law School social media platforms for details. You can also call 0277 200 615 and you get more details on that. We thank you for all the messages that you're sending through WhatsApp to Twitter to Facebook, and our text messages here on the Super Morning Show, brought to you by Glycocritical Illness Plan GSIP. GSIP, it's in your best interest to survive. But and from prize way, be 69 Ghana cedis per. This Ghana month, you fit enjoy the very best in entertainment for less on Go TV. As our gift to you, drop your price from 89 Ghana cedis to 69 Ghana cedis. It's a cool deal for you this month of independence. Into grab it one time. Catch authentic, relatable African content on Aquaba Magic, Rock GH and Trace Jama, plus various kids channels, sports and movies. We'll change